Okay, it's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Mano is here.
New Mano!
That's right. Day number 4.
Day 4, 3.5 of the same.
It's cold in here.
I just looked over. You put on a different outfit.
No, I didn't put on a different
You
outfit.
put a hoodie on over your outfit.
Right, because it's cold here.
It's a nice hoodie.
Thank you. Money dreams.
But, unfortunately, we have to add another day. Of this bet that you lost to wearing the same clothes for a week. That's not the same thing you had on. But let's move on to Yee T, please. We'll discuss this later. All right. Now, Lizzo has been accused of sexual harassment and weight shaming. Also, there have been allegations of disability discrimination, assault and false imprisonment, religious harassment. And these charges are against Lizzo, her production company, and also Shirlene Quigley, who is the captain of Lizzo's dance team. Now, Lizzo has issued a response to allegations that were made against her and her production company. And here is... First, before we tell you what she said in response, let's give you some of these allegations. Now, there are 3 former dancers, Ariana Davis, Crystal Williams, and Noel Rodriguez, that are making these allegations, and they recently did an interview. They were actually on TMZ, and here's what one of them had to say about when they sought out a lawyer.
There was like this feeling of thinking that if you didn't do something or you didn't adhere to certain suggestions or demands that your job could be in jeopardy. For example, whenever we were in contact with our agents and we were trying to negotiate receiving a retainer while we were working with the team, things started being more tense. And after negotiations for retainers began, we got an email saying that the way that we have been acting was unprofessional and that it could be grounds for termination. And that's just one specific instance.
All right. Now, Ariana Davis, who was speaking there, also talked about once they discovered that she was a virgin, that is when Shirlene Quigley, who is captain of Lizzo's dance team, would routinely discuss that subject, bring it up in interviews, and even post about it on social media. And this is all part of this whole religious discrimination. So here is the rest of these allegations by Ariana Davis, where she talks about getting fired.
To which she then brought up the allegations of us drinking before shows. I raised my hand to speak. She allowed me to speak. And in that moment, I let her know that, you know, we never partook in those activities and that we would never put ourselves, her, or the show or our jobs in jeopardy. And days later, one of her tour managers terminated me in a hotel lobby.
Ooh.
Mm.
All right. Now, lastly, this one of the accusers, Crystal Williams, we told you there's 3 of them, also talked about getting fired, and that is where the whole discrimination against her weight comes into play. Here's what she claims.
I had felt for a really long time that they were questioning my abilities due to weight gain. It was never explicitly said, hey, you know, you're gaining weight. Your job is in jeopardy. It was never that. It was very nuanced. It was very under the rug. And I think that language was used to keep from being canceled.
Okay, so there's a lot to this, right? But Lizzo did respond. And she said, these last few days have been gut-wrenchingly difficult and overwhelmingly disappointing. My work ethic, morals, and respectfulness have been questioned. My character has been criticized. Usually I choose not to respond to false allegations, but these are as unbelievable as they sound and too outrageous to not be addressed. These sensationalized stories are coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted that they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional. So she said, I'm not here to be looked at as a victim, but I also know that I am not the villain that people in the media have portrayed me to be these last few days. She goes on to end the whole statement with, I'm hurt, but I will not let the good work I've done in the world be overshadowed by this.
Wow, this is starting to sound like a surviving Lizzo.
Well, I would say this, Lizzo is from Detroit, and so there's definitely people there that know her family and know her, so I've been hearing some things.
Good things?
I've been hearing some things in support of Lizzo, but then I've been hearing things on both sides, so I guess we just have to let things play out because everybody's telling their story and their experiences as well. But there was another statement that was made, and this is by Sophia Nali Allison, and she was directing the Lizzo documentary, and she said she walked away from it after being treated with such disrespect by Lizzo. She said she left the project after 2 weeks of shadowing her because of arrogant, self-centered, and unkind behavior from Lizzo. Oh, wow. She said she was thrown into a ishy situation with little support. And she posted on Instagram, I usually do not comment on anything pop culture related, but in 2019, I traveled a bit with Lizzo to be the director of her documentary. I walked away after about 2 weeks. I witnessed how arrogant, unkind, and cruel she is. I was not protected and thrown into that situation with little support. My spirit said to run as fast as you effing can, and I'm grateful I trusted my gut. I felt gaslit and deeply hurt, but I've healed.
Is she saying that now, or did she say that before?
She's saying this now.
So she didn't say all this before?
No, she never said this before. But, she's just commenting on it. She's not trying to press charges or anything. I guess, saw these stories and is like, okay, it's not just me.
Got it.
So these are all allegations at this point, and that is your Yeetie. And when we come back, we have Under the Radar. These are the stories that are not necessarily in the headlines like Lizzo's story is. They've been flying under the radar. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.
Way up.